Just going to do a short video. This is Bach Chorale BWV 17-7, and it's actually really long. It's maybe about 50, more than 50 measures long. So we're just going to catch the first few phrases, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then I'll do the rest in another video. So it's in A major, and you have this beautiful melody. Right? And it just really suggests that we're going to be some kind of period structure, because if I'm in the key of A major, it's going to end on, I'm sorry, this camera setup's a little different. This is a 1 chord right here, A, C sharp, E. And this is my 5 chord right here, right? E, G sharp, E, B, right there. And this is an IAC, imperfect authentic cadence, because although this is a root position 5 and root position 1, we end on the third of the chord there instead of the root. But when we get done over here, this is also an A, C sharp, E, and A chord, and this is an E, E, G sharp, B, another 5 chord, but this time we're root position and root position and root on top. Sorry, root position, root on top right there. So that's going to be a P, A, C, just like that. It's going to be awkward. I've lent my camera system to somebody else's teaching this week, and so I have it's just really close. So I'm going to be covering the screen sometimes. Sorry about that. So now that we know that, then we can analyze all of these in the key of A. Even though we start to see accidentals, the cadence sticks us in the key of E, F, A right here. And so we can probably look at these as secondary dominants and secondary diminished chords and things like that. So 1 chord, A, C sharp, E. This is an F sharp, A, C, which is my 6th chord. And there's lots of reasons why Bach did this. I mean, you can go to anywhere after 1, but down here in this phrase, we're going to terminate in F sharp. Right here, the relative minor. And so I think, like, it's not always going to be this case, but the fact that he goes from 1 and immediately goes to the relative minor is a way of him forecasting that he's going to be hitting there soon, right? He even does it here with the E sharps, which is the leading tone into the F sharps. It's like he's going to go in like 1 relative minor, but we're still in the key of A. 1, and then really hard into the relative minor, because now we're going to prep the F sharp chord here with its own 5 chord right here, but then no, we're going to be in the key of A still, right? But here, 1 chord, and then we head off prepping in, and we actually change key to the key of F sharp. So there's this foreshadowing and persistence of going to the relative minor F sharp, okay? This is a C sharp minor chord here, C sharp, E, G sharp. Right, and that would be my 3 chord. And 3s are less common, but it's fine coming after the 6. And then we go to my 4 chord, heading up a step to the subdominant is fine, right? D, D, F sharp, A. This is just a passing tone right there. And then we have a E, G sharp, B, and a D. That's my 5 chord. The 7th in the bass, that's a 2. Inversion, and that should take us to a 1 chord, A, C sharp, A, E, and the 7th of the chord here likes to come down to the 3rd, so we kind of expected that. Normally we could maybe ignore what's going on in the middle like we did here, but we're heading to a cadence. It would be fine to go 1, 5, 1, but we should check this out because more parts move, and we see that we have a B and a D, F sharp, and an A. That's a B, D, F sharp, A. That's a 2 chord. Right? And it's in 6, 5. It's got a 5th on it, B, D, F sharp, A. So 1, 2, 5, 1 is much stronger than just going 1, 5, 1. And there we go. Okay, I'm gonna move over just a little bit here. Like I said, the first time it's like 1 to 6, but then persist in the key of A. This time it's gonna be 1 going to 6, but we're gonna front load it with its own predominant. A lot of people see E sharps and go like, oh no, I hate E sharps, because, you know, to play them right? It's like from here, sorry, I'm reaching backwards, blind. You got to think, oh, that's, you know, right there, right? And then there. But if you just think of it as a gift, because it's telling you that we're leading tone into the F sharp, right? Because if we're in F sharp minor, you'd have the same key signature, but then we would raise the 7th for our 5 chords and 7th chords using the harmonic minor. So it's a real ear and visual gift for us. Anyhow, A, C sharp, A, C sharp is my 1 chord again. And we know that we're not changing key. This, however, becomes a C sharp major chord. C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, and C sharp. Remember the G sharp's in the key signature over here, right? So this is not a 3 chord. It's the 5 first inversion, right, of 6. Okay, and then this is not a chord tone, just like that isn't right there, but then it flips here. We get our 7th right here. And C, E sharp, C, and then we get our incomplete 5/7, which will go to a 6 chord. This is again of 6, which goes to 6, passing tone, right? This is my E, G sharp, B with the 7th right there, so it's 5 again, and then my 1/6. Okay, and this is similar to right here, the previous cadence, right? Have a B and a D and an F sharp and an A. And I'm getting a phone call right in the middle of this, which is unfortunate. And I'm just going to ignore it because I want to finish this video and then I'll call them right back. I actually know who that is. All right, we're going to finish this last line here. We look here, and this is an F sharp chord right here, right? F sharp minor. And this is a C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. This is a authentic cadence in the key of F sharp. So this is 5 and this is 1, and it's a PAC because root, root, and root, but it's in F sharp. So we can interpret all of this in the key of F sharp. Clearly it starts in the key of A again, and this is my 1 chord right there, and this is my 4 chord, it's a D, right? Like that. And this is what we would call a passing 6/4 chord on G sharp, right? So it's G sharp, B, and D. So we could call this a G sharp diminished chord, even though those are passing notes. And that would be like my 7 diminished 6/4, and it would be passing chord. And then it comes back to my 1 chord right here, right? And then we have this thing happening again, kind of like we had it going on right there. But because we're heading into a cadence that's going to affirm the key of F sharp minor, we know that we're changing key. In fact, you could call this 3 in the key of F sharp minor if you wanted to, as a pivot chord or a passing chord, right? You could have done that for any of these chords here. They're just delayed to the last possible moment. But now if we think ourselves in the key of F sharp minor, I've got a G sharp and an E sharp and a B. So E sharp, G sharp, B, that's 7 diminished, right? E sharp, G sharp, B, E sharp diminished 7 chord, or E sharp diminished chord, which is the 7 in the key of F sharp, which then goes to an F sharp, A. This is holding through, right? And then this here is another one right here. So this, you can look at like a 1 chord, right? With a non-chord tone on the B right there. Okay. And then we have another C sharp type chord here. It's the same as this, but now we've added the C sharp instead of the B. So C sharp, E sharp, G sharp unison right there, right? So that's my 5 chord in first inversion, which will take us to a 1 chord right there, F sharp, A, and C sharp. And then we have our 5 chord here, and you know, he's put a 2 chord between the 1 and the 5 at the cadences every time. I suspect something like that's going to happen again. B, D, F sharp. There's my G sharp right there. So G sharp, B, D, F sharp. That's a G sharp half diminished 7, which is my 2 chord, right? So that's going to be 2 half diminished because we're in the minor, 6-5, like that. All right. What happens next? Well, remember that this is going to continue on for another, I don't know, 5 or 6 more phrases. And so when we do this kind of music, we have to remember that A could go to F sharp minor because that's the relative minor, but it could also go to E, which is the dominant, and it could also go down to D, which is the subdominant. This is like +1 sharp, and this is like +1 flat if you take one, flat or sharp away from there. And then of course we have B minor, and we'd have C sharp minor as well. So that's where we're headed. So it's not a surprise for us when we get over to here and we see this is an E, G sharp, B, and an E, right? And then a B, B, D sharp, F sharp, and there's my 7th. This is a 1 chord. This is a 5 with a 7th, but I'm in the key of E, right? Which is the dominant. That's what happens in these pieces. They migrate and go to different places. So knowing that, we can probably interpret much of this in the key of E. In fact, right from the very beginning, B, D sharp, A, and F sharp. This is a B7 chord right here, dominant. And so we just say, look, we're in the key of E right away, I think, right? Because we're affirming from here. So this would be my 5, 6, 5 in the key of E, which should go to my 1, which is an E, G sharp, E, B right there. This here is an E's and A's. It's not enough to form a chord. You could think of it like a 4, 6, 4 passing chord if you wanted to, which would be my A chord. It's done that way, like with a pedal note right there. So that's fine. And then E, G sharp, B, and then D. This has become a non-dominant version of, sorry, it's no, that's not true. Let me think how to say this. It's become an E dominant 7, right? E, G sharp, B, and then D, which makes it the 5. This is the 7th of the chord of 4, right? That's what we would expect to have happen. And then this should go to 4, which is going to be my A chord right there. A, C sharp, E. So this is my 4, 6, right? And this is my F sharp, A, C sharp, and E, which happens to be the 2 chord, which he loves to seem to do just before all these cadences right here, right? In first inversion, and then 5-1. And this is a PAC as well, root position, root on top. All right, and that's the first part of this chorale right here. And we'll do another video in the near future where we catch the rest of it right there. But for now, seems like a good stopping place. Plus, as you heard, I've got a phone call I got to return. So, bye.